Hey guys, it's Boy, and today we're going to be talking about the Marvel villain known as Asbestos Man. And he was created by Stan Lee and Eric Hart, and he first appeared in Strange Tales 111. Now, if you're going to become a supervillain, never name yourself Asbestos Man or have anything to do with asbestos, because you're just asking for trouble. So, the story begins with this guy named Karloff, or Frank Karloff. He's walking down the street, and he's thinking to himself, what can I do to get into the underworld? Because I need money, my current job's not working. What can I do to get into the underworld? Because I think I'm a genius. In reality, he's not a genius, because anybody, like I said, Asbestos Man, just a terrible idea. But while he's out, a bunch of people rush to see Human Torch, who just captured a bunch of criminals. Now, then we meet up with this guy named Blacky Barker, who is this gangster who's saying the Human Torch has been ruining his crime wave and has made crime go down, which is a problem for him. We then go back to Karloff, who's at his lab, who's angry because he feels like he's a genius and deserves more money for his inventions. But in reality, they're not that great. I mean, sure, he came up with a solvent that melts anything, and he has an idea for a forging thing that can forge signatures and a moneymaker, which is illegal. He also has an idea to chemically attack Fort Knox, and this is his villain idea that start popping in. Well, he tries this idea with the solvent at a bank, but gets scared by the bank alarm. Already a terrible villain. But he then sees Human Torch out fighting criminals and then gets the idea. I should take down Human Torch, then I can get in the underworld. So he decides to buy a castle, come up with an evil plan, and use asbestos, since that's fireproof, to take down Human Torch. He then becomes the Asbestos Man. Yeah, it's a terrible idea. He sends a letter to Human Torch telling him, like, look, this is the Asbestos Man, come fight me. And Human Torch, being cocky, because he is a very cocky and arrogant character, he goes after him and goes to the castle, and Karloff prepares, and he puts on his Asbestos Man suit, and Human Torch tries to shoot a flame at him. It doesn't work because asbestos is fire retardant. He then tries to throw a fireball at Asbestos Man. Asbestos Man throws it back at him using a net. He then drops Human Torch into a pool of water to cool him off. Johnny Storm then escapes the Asbestos Man's trap and returns to the Baxter building, where he goes to get advice from Sue on how to beat this guy. Meanwhile, Blacky Barker has come to Asbestos Man like, look, you've beat Human Torch, why don't you come help me rob a bank? He agrees. Sue tells Johnny, look, you need to think with your head and not always with your flame. So Johnny jumps into action, turns right back into Human Torch, and heads to the bank to stop Asbestos Man from robbing it. He drops a chandelier on him, and also makes quick work of Blacky Barker's men as well as Blacky Barker himself. After dropping the chandelier on Asbestos Man tries to throw a vial of this melting solvent onto Human Torch. But when he throws it, Human Torch melts it midair, so it can't do anything. He then burns the floor around Asbestos Man and causes him to fall through the floor and hit the ground beneath him. He then burns all the air underneath, so he can't breathe. Asbestos Man has been arrested. It's anticlimactic, but what do you expect from a guy called Asbestos Man? After a long absence from the comics, Asbestos Man would then reappear during the event known as Fear Itself. He had a short role, but what happens with him is pretty funny. So, in Fear Itself, the story revolved around Thor and the World Serpent, and this prophecy that says Thor would kill the World Serpent and the World Serpent would kill Thor. Now, this is based off the prophecy from mythology as well, where Thor and this World Serpent, they get in this fight, and it ends. They even talk about it in the God of War game, which we're not getting that because it's not Marvel. But in this event, it was crazy. Red Skull had a hammer, Juggernaut had a hammer, almost everybody had a hammer. And we get the scene of Captain America wielding Mjolnir in Endgame. We got that from this comic, Fear Itself. So, in the issue, Fear Itself Homefront, issue 6, in the fourth story, it focuses on the Great Lake Avengers. And people are rioting because they're mad at them. Now, if you don't know who the Great Lake Avengers are, they're pretty much this off-brand group of the Avengers, because the Avengers has different sections. But you have people like Big Bertha, who's a woman who can change her weight at any moment, make herself bigger. Immortal Man, who is immortal. Flat Man, who's like Mr. Fantastic, but completely flat. And Doorman, a mutant who can create portals and walk through them. So they are literally run out of their base, and they go and hide at this mini-mart because they don't know where else they're going to go. Their home has been invaded. Like, they don't know what they're going to do at this point. And Immortal Man's like, even though they came after us, we still have to take care of them because, we're the Avengers. Meanwhile, in the mini-mart, you have Asbestos Man show up. He says, you know, the man of asbestos, and please don't laugh at me, I'm a cancer survivor. Oh my gosh. But he comes at her like, look, I have the hammer that everybody else has during this whole event. Because everybody had the hammer that gave them special abilities. But she's not scared of him because of the hammer. She's scared because the guy's literally putting off cancer. Because asbestos, if you breathe that in, it can give you a cause of cancer. So when he comes face to face with the Great Lake Avengers, they don't even want to touch him. Because they don't want to get cancer either. So they end up just letting him sit there. He tries to give him something like, don't you want this as a trophy? They said, nah, you can keep that. So he ends up getting taken away because he didn't really do anything bad, but he taken away by a guy in hazmat suits to probably a hospital because the dude, no doubt, probably still has the cancer as much as he wears that suit. So Marvel Snapshot's Fantastic Four focused on this reporting group who went to talk to these different villains from Fantastic Four, and one of them was Frank Karloff, who tells them his time as Asbestos Man, how he's Human Torch's greatest villain. No, he wasn't. And he tells them how he regrets everything and the bills and the payments and everything it cost him. Like, it cost him a lot of money. And it just, and just how much he feels stupid for doing all of it because, yeah, he got cancer from that. We've already been over this, but I've already said, you breathe in asbestos, you're gonna get cancer. That's just how it is. Which is what makes the character so funny, and that's why I was laughing at that part where it's like, please don't laugh at me, and don't laugh at the reason I have this oxygen tank, I'm a cancer survivor. Well, no shit. Like, what do you expect to have if you wear a suit of asbestos? I'm sorry, but it's just funny to me. And in 2014's Fantastic Four, we finally learned the fate of the great Asbestos Man. Well, he's brought up to Human Torch, and Human Torch is like, oh yeah, that guy, he's dead. So yeah, the cancer killed him. I really do feel bad for laughing, but at the same time, it's just ironic. I mean, I don't know how you would put it. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video and had a good laugh from this crazy character or silly character or idiotic character, then please do leave a comment, leave a like, or maybe subscribe. It's up to y'all. But I'm pretty sure the next video will be Bloodsport. I can say that for sure because I am working on that currently. But I hope y'all have a good day and peace out.